Good day. My name is Chief Strongblood, St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son, the diaspora machismo.
Well, I call me Taylor selection. I ball like a cow. They watch the Pirates and give them 5 in a row, turn around and then ballin' now. Had to form the conclusion. Vincent Shando to she. I had to roll with public opinion that they walk over be a Hunwee. Took a speedboat down to Karakou. Went to look for a sea man. I had to find out for sure if one man could outesh a whole nation. The sea man watch a base no water. He rock back and he shaky. He say, who put your soul in St. Vincent?
The Ombia man, he done dead.
Tax money send a farmer leave Vatican, and the Pope put blessings on the big man head. But he come back 10 times more wicked and dread. Cause who put them there so done dead.
For many years now, I have been telling the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves and his Unity Labour Party is totally unaware of what their responsibilities to St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Vincentians are. They are also totally unaware of how to develop and how to manage a small island economy. Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves is to understand what are the differences between a developmental project and development. Take a listen to Ralph Gonsalves as he explained him and his son Camelo's magnificent plans about developing the small community of Bukament and the surrounding areas.
In this year's budget, Camilo had spoken about the need for us to develop the village in Bukament, in Leyu and Barley, as a result of the amount of tourism development taking place now.
Yes.
On that side of the island. Well, on Wednesday, we approved the go-ahead for the chief surveyor to buy 4 lots of land. He thinks his valuation is that there would be about $500,000, just over $500,000 now. So we give him permission to go and make an offer to the people who own those parcels now. So we will we want to do some things there for the people in the village to make sure that when Sandals developing, the villagers must get a good spin-off now. Apart from employment, no. When people talk about put a toilet, I mean, we want to do better development than that. You know what I mean? So people could, it could be a good spot for the community, for the people in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and for visitors from the knock-on effect.
Rock back and he shaky. He say, who put your soul in St. Vincent?
The Ombia man, he done dead.
In Ralph Gonsalves' second term as Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, he and his government went about repairing and painting up all of the government buildings within St. Vincent and the Grenadines, schools, community centers, hospitals, clinics, etc. They post all of these pictures on Facebook. And this was emblems of the development that Ralph Gonsalves and his government were involved in. In the initial stages, I thought Ralph Gonsalves was just doing this to fool the public and to fool those people within the diaspora as to how good things are in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But as time goes on, I just get to understand that he do not know what he's doing, and he do not understand how development in a small island economy takes place. Ralph Gonsalves is of the opinion that in infrastructure, repair and the upkeep of infrastructure are development. This is not development. These are developmental projects. These are projects, when done, may contribute to the development of our country. are many infrastructural projects that will be put in place that will not contribute to any major um, economic development in the country in which these projects are implemented. Some infrastructural projects are put in place for the community's convenience to make life easier for the members of the community which these projects are placed in. Thus, we have a secondary financial spin-off for the country, not a primary. The government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines is going to invest over $500,000 to buy 4 lots of land. But the general purpose and intention for which the government is going to use these lands is still unknown, because Ralph Gonsalves cannot even say for what purpose they are going to use these lands. I would like you to notice that he is referring to the structures or the infrastructure that the government intend to put in as being development. Structures and infrastructures are not development. The word development means to increase in size, and it is always associated with economic growth. Structures and infrastructure has the capability of fostering or aiding economic growth in a country, but they by themselves are not considered development. The government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines do not have a means or methods of measuring the value contribution of the structure or infrastructure which they put in as it relates to the increase in the country's economic growth. Another thing that Ralph Gonsalves and his government do not understand: government invests resources in solving problems. What are the problems Bookament, Liu, and Barley are now experiencing that need to be serviced and can only be serviced with the purchase, the acquisition of 4 lots of land and specific structure to be placed on those lands? What are the problem Ralph Gonsalves and his government is trying to serve? Ralph Gonsalves have occupied the office of Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines for over 20 years. And 20 years later, from his inception as the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, he is still as lost as the first day he stepped into the office of Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. My people, my name is Chief Strongblood, St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son.
I had to find out for sure if one man could outesh a whole nation. This year man watch a base now water. He rock back and he shaky. He say, who put your soul in St. Vincent?
The Ombia man, he done dead.
Tax money send a farmer leave Vatican, and the Pope put blessings on the big man head. But he come back 10 times more wicked and dread. Cause who put them there so done dead. They promise integrity legislation, we end up with more corruption instead. They say fish that start rotting from the head. Cause who put them there so done dead. I'm looking for a brand new city. I see 2 plywood school instead, and flea biting children skin turning red. Cause who put them there so done dead.